Okay, welcome into my studio. I'm going to try to make a tutorial about weathering or making these teak coaches. Before I start the actual work, I first want to talk about the materials I use. Very important. To make the wood structure, start with a glass paint. I use a yellow glass paint and a brown glass paint. Then next to that, for the lining, I use this Vallejo. What color is this again? It's a golden brown. I don't know if you can see this. Doesn't focus much, but and a brass metal paint. Also needed for the glass paint, I use methanol alcohol to thin it, also to clean out your brushes in the first stage. I always have a bottle of demineralized water with me. My glasses, of course, tea for the soul. I have a brush holder, I will come to that later. Two very interesting water pots I bought at a local, £1 store or something. Very handy. Some scissors, pliers. These cotton sticks, very handy sometimes. This is paint soap. I also come to this later, and this is a paintbrush holder. When you're working, you can put it in there. It's handy. It doesn't mess up things. And then, of course, the paintbrushes. Also, toothpicks can come in, very handy. That's all you need to make these teak coaches. I want to say something about paintbrushes first. This paintbrush here that I have here, it's more than 30 years old, and you can still see the tip is in very good condition. It all has to do with maintenance. So each time you use a pencil or a paintbrush, clean it out very well, and it will last you a lifetime. These are very expensive paintbrushes. These are pure Kolinsky paintbrushes. How do you clean them? I have this special soap, and it looks like this. The thing you do is, when you clean out your brushes, first with water or with alcohol, whatever. Then finally you clean them out with water, and you use this soap. You turn them around inside, something like this, and around, and then you wash them in your hand palm and clean them, and they come out very clean, and you have them for years to use. Also interesting, small glass pots to mix in paints and stuff. So, and then of course paintbrushes, when you leave them to dry, always dry them upside down. Reason for this is, if there is still residue of the paint inside the brush, the water will pour it, the gravity will pour it down. If you put it in the other way, paint will, well, if I have this brush here, paint will come here on the inside and will harden out, and this will break the hairs off of the paintbrush. So it's very important, always when paintbrushes dry, hang them upside down. It's a very good tip, and your paintbrushes last you a lifetime. So this rack, you can find them in Works or something like that store. They are very cheap and very handy to use. Also, when I store my paintbrushes, you see I have all sorts of shelves here, but the paintbrushes themselves, you see, if they're dry, they're stored upside down, on the other way around. And yeah, well, you can see I have a lot of paintbrushes, but they last me also a long time. Of course, it also depends if you're using watercolors or acrylics. Then your paintbrush can last you much longer than, for instance, if you work with lacquers or whatever. So this is the first stage in the tutorial. I think your materials are very important, and it's always good to have them around.